welcome to one more round with Dyna Nysus, the only short-form, late-night comedy show hosted by a drag queen. I'm your host, Dyna. Tonight we're going to talk about a successful trans video gamer. We rate how very bisexual lumberjacks are, and I show you how to order a cheeseburger like a real devilish dame. Now it's time for our first round, so let's belly up to the bar. That's right, it's time to read the news. A lesbian couple's wedding officiated by a drag queen in a dinosaur mask went viral, and that dinosaur-faced drag queen was Jackie Beat. She's got a giant head and tiny arms. Actually, she's got big man arms. A same-sex couple in the United Kingdom recreated an entire wedding after a dog ate the legal paperwork. Ironically, the same thing used to happen in Kentucky, but the dog that ate that paperwork was named Kim Davis. Bad bigot, bad girl. A church in the Netherlands installed a disco ball for inclusive worship services. Apparently, the groups they were trying to be inclusive of were pimps and coke addicts. Otherwise known as drag king. A gay couple in Palm Springs accidentally became a tourist attraction after decorations from their house, after decorating their house entirely in pride flags. In case someone ever sarcastically asked you what's gayer than Christmas, you now have an answer. A drag brunch at Hamburger Mary's was interrupted by a surprise marriage proposal mid-performance because nothing's more romantic than being surrounded by twinks and negligees reeking of Victoria's Secret's love spell and body odor with a backdrop of a diner named after a greasy sandwich. Two lesbian farmers won a national cheese competition in Vermont with their record-breaking entry. The biggest surprise, they beat out two sweaty otters that were uncut. A same-sex couple completed a wedding ceremony underwater in Hawaii while wearing scuba gear. Fortunately, after the pastor wrote on their little whiteboard, "You may now kiss your partner," the lovers drowned. What's more important, kissing or breathing? A drag queen led a fitness class that became the city's most popular workout in Berlin. It's an immersive EDM experience called Poppin' Puss in Berghain. A queer elders group in Florida hosted a prom night decades after missing their high school prom, but they felt it was a little too on the nose to call the event a senior prom. A pride parade in Sydney included a float shaped like a giant high heel shoe. You know, I feel like that's what wholesome liberal straight people think queer liberation really looks like. But if we're being honest, when queer joy is celebrated in the streets, it looks more like Folsom. A trans gamer won a major esports tournament while competing under a new set of inclusive rules. They played a game called Go Home Annie, and this whole time I thought they were saying a slur. And next, Alfred Kinsey invented the Kinsey scale for a publication released in 1948 in order to allow people to rate their sexuality on a scale from 0, being the most heterosexual, to 6, being the most homosexual. While this system of classification has received many critiques, it still remains a pedestrian way to articulate bisexuality and queerness. So as a little example, we're going to rank inanimate objects by their bisexuality based on the Kinsey scale. For our next round, it's How Very Bisexual. The category is lumberjack realness, and at 0, being the most heterosexual, we have an axe. It's doubling down on the heterosexuality with being both dangerous and practical. At number 1, we have hiking boots. Hiking boots are both pretty traditionally masculine while also being used for an activity that's kind of queer. I mean, a hike is basically a gay walk uphill. Right? People go on hikes for 2 reasons. 1, to gossip, or 2, to have sex outdoors. And number 2, we have plaid shirts. This is the most gender-neutral way of communicating that you know how to make a girl squirt. Next, we have number 3, and that would be overalls. It's very gay, very straight, and bisexual to wear overalls. It's both extra gay and extra straight if you don't wear a t-shirt, and it's extra bisexual if you don't wear a t-shirt and you tape your nipples. All right, next on the list we have number 4, and that's overalls, but the pants are cuffed, right? Because since the beginning, since the beginning of time, bisexuals have used clothing-based coding to identify themselves with other bisexuals. The gays have hanky code, and the queers and bisexuals have cuffing code. And just like with their sexuality, cuffed pants are an example of bisexuals not being able to make up their mind. Do I want to show my ankle? Do I want to cover it? Number 5, we're getting close to super gay. We have big biceps and a fat ass. Lumberjacks are always out here swinging logs while doing squats. That's kind of straight, but that's pretty gay. And number 6, we have, again, overalls, but they're cutoffs, Show off that sexy torso while also showing what that ass do. If I wasn't wearing sweatpants under this table, I would show what that ass do. And that is how very bisexual. And next, I've been working on some impressions. So for our last round, here's my impression of a film noir femme fatale ordering a cheeseburger. So this joint's called In-N-Out, huh? Sounds like every man I ever met. What do you mean I can't smoke in here? Well, fine, I'll put it out, but I'll still be smoking. What would I like? Depends what you're offering. I don't chase, I choose, but that don't mean I'm afraid of being a little indecisive. Doesn't matter. I've made worse decisions than you, but I always get what I want, eventually. Let's see. Shall I have a double-double? The only thing biblical about me is that I like to take them 2 by 2. Oh. Do I want what? Do I want spread? Now you're talking, kid. What else you got, big boy? Yeah, I'll take the onions grilled more well done than the interrogation you're gonna give me when I come home smelling like whiskey and cheap aftershave. What do I want on the side? Is a little bit of loving too much to ask for? Yeah, then I guess I'll just take the French fried onion rings. They say almost everything's better when it's French. And now a drink. Oh, honey, I'm trying to quit. You're asking quite a lot of questions for someone who might not like the answers. But it's okay. I like a man who thinks he's in control. So yeah, just a diet lemonade. I'm trying to watch my figure. Trying to watch my figure get all over you. Catch up? Honey, you couldn't catch up if you tried. And baby, I'd love it if you did try. My total. What do you mean my total? Honey, look at me. I haven't paid for a meal since I hit puberty. All right. I'm certainly not going to start paying for them now. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna go tell that beautiful broad-shouldered man at the flat top grill station just exactly how I like my meat. You're gonna gather all the accoutrement needed for my decadent dine-in dinner. You're gonna put it all in a paper bag and you're gonna slide that bag across the countertop and nobody gets hurt. Anything else would just break my heart. And you don't want to break my heart, do you? That's kind of what I thought. Now give me that flabbergasting receipt and read me my number. 69. Nice. All right, bitches, it's time to close out your tab. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm Dyna. This has been One More Round with Dyna Nysus. And if you like what you see, show your support by hitting those like and subscribe buttons below. Take a little bit of time to do it. And then share this episode with someone who owes you a drink. Have a great weekend. Cheers.